to the Dan Show, starring Dan Whalen.
Hey guys, welcome back to my show where we talk about all things movies, TV shows, and cigars. And today we're going to be talking about the sixth movie in the Star Wars franchise. This one is, it's kind of just I don't want to say it's a throwaway, but it is definitely a classic. Not my ultimate favorite one of the series, but it's still just an amazing movie. We're going to be talking about Star Wars, The Return of the Jedi. Now, before we get started, if you could please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, it definitely helps me out. Stay tuned for more videos. Before we get into this video, though, my birthday was Monday, which whatever. But then the following day after that, we lost one of the greatest musicians of all time. Literally invented my favorite genre of music ever. This one goes out to, this is for Ozzy Osborne. And then I just found out literally about an hour ago, maybe a little bit more, that Hulk Hogan died, which, man, what a week. You know, my God, like this week's been crazy. So I got myself a little glass of whiskey. If you guys want to have a toast with me, absolutely. So this goes out to Ozzy Osborne and Hulk Hogan. Thank you guys. I know, hopefully you're both up in heaven or in hell, wherever you are. I hope you can hear me, but thank you guys so much for everything you have done for me in my childhood, everything you've done for everyone else. You guys seriously are the greatest of all time, and you will be heavily missed. Cheers, guys. Tragic this week. What a week, man. This week's been crazy. But, so we're going to dive right on into it. This video is for them. I wanted to give a special shout out to my buddy Arsenio. He, for my birthday, like I said, was Monday. He gave me a new microphone. Hopefully the quality of audio in these videos is much better. Tested it a few times. These things are pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually kind of impressed with how these sound already. So put in the comment section yay or nay to the microphone. Let me know what you guys think, whatever. But let's get right on into this. So we're going to talk about the Return of the Jedi. And so this is that. I still don't know exactly what that really means in this movie. It could be, it could be Luke Skywalker coming back as a Jedi, or it could be Darth Vader, spoilers ahead, becoming a Jedi again, going back to being good. It's kind of the two metaphors I have for this movie, I guess, or what the title would mean. So Luke goes back to the Dagobah system to finish his training with Yoda. Pretty much he does that kind of quick. I feel like I'm skipping ahead, actually. Let's go to where we left off in the last one. Han Solo was frozen in carbonite. He was given to Jabba the Hutt, which is, the Jabba the Hutt. Everybody knows who Jabba the Hutt is. If you don't, where have you been? But Jabba the Hutt. And, essentially he's kind of just as a decoration. Leia, who is kind of like now, I guess Han Solo's girlfriend now, I guess she tries to pretty much persuade Jabba the Hutt to give back Han Solo by selling Chewbacca, which sounds kind of messed up, but I guess it was this whole plan. Princess Leia gets caught literally after bringing Han Solo back to life from the frozen carbonite. Then it goes into this huge problem. Next thing you know, Luke shows up ready to kick ass. He's able to freaking force choke now. He's able to kind of do everything. He's at this point like a full-blown Jedi. But you don't really know that yet until it kind of comes to an end. But anyway, so that's an interesting part of the movie where Jabba the Hutt gets defeated. The gang's kind of all back together now. Jabba the Hutt, I actually kind of like Jabba the Hutt. He's just kind of he's like the Godfather gangster of the Star Wars world. You know what I mean? And he's just, I don't know. He's like just a big old slug, but he's kind of cool at the same time. But we're going to pretty much, after that part, I kind of dig that whole part. I think that's probably my favorite part of the movie is when they're in Jabba's palace and they're doing the whole shenanigans, whatever. But then we're going to go to the Dagobah system where now Yoda is dying and essentially tells Luke that, you got to do what you got to do. Now that you know that Darth Vader is your father, are you willing to face this challenge? And Luke kind of accepts it, and then he pretty much warns him, don't give in to the hate. Do not give in to the dark side. You have to be better than your father, essentially, because we all know how that turned out. Anyway, so Luke then, kind of accepts his role as a Jedi. And then, then he kind of has this manhunt and goes after his father. He tries to find out where his dad is. And he kind of has the mindset of trying to convert him back to being good. Now, in this movie, I know I've mentioned Darth Sidious in the past in the other movies, but in the 70s and 80s when these movies came out, you had no idea who the Emperor was. And you actually kind of find out how much of a scumbag he truly is in this movie. Um, Darth Sidious is probably, without a doubt, in cinema history, the most evil character in all of cinema. I think, like, he's just kind of an asshole to be an asshole. You know, he's just like a piece of crap. But all in all, Darth Sidious is a crazy character. He is very powerful, and he's the biggest manipulator of ever. And I think this is finally the movie where Darth Vader realizes that he's been manipulated his whole life. So we're gonna so Luke kind of goes off on his own path to find Darth Vader, and we have Princess Leia, we have Chewbacca, we have the droid C-3PO and R2-D2, and we have Leia, all of them. They go to the forest moon of Endor to essentially lower the shield to the Death Star, and they have to pretty much deactivate that shield so they can go pursue the Death Star to destroy it again. I know. I thought in the fourth movie they already did that, but apparently they were rebuilding it and they're making it more powerful. And they actually had to separate the shields. They had to lower it and make sure that everything was as it was. So anyway, so after they kind of lower the shields to the Death Star, the rebels, who are already getting their butts kicked in outer space, and like literally above in space above the forest moon of Endor, they now have the chance to go destroy the Death Star permanently this time. Here's the thing, though, with that already being a problem, Luke and Darth Vader are on the Death Star, kind of just hanging out. And I guess Darth Sidious planned out this thing to pretty much set a trap for the rebellion that was supposed to show up and destroy the Death Star, which the trap ended up working really well. But in the end of the freaking movie, you only find out, like, of course, good prevails always. So, but all in all, I like this one. Like I said, I like the fact that Luke was able to overpower his, I guess, urge to join the dark side. Not only want to say urge to join it, but he was just not mentally weak like his father was. He refused to accept the dark side. And like I really for some reason love the part when he tosses his lightsaber and he looks at Darth Sidious. He's like, "I will never join the dark side. I am a Jedi." And then Darth Sidious is like, "All right, well, screw you too," and then like electrocutes him to pretty much almost tries to kill him. Darth Vader snaps out of it finally and actually picks the Emperor up and tosses him in this endless, pit of death. Where you just kind of hear him fall down and you hear a big explosion, which this is in a future video, but in the ninth movie, somehow, and it's literally mentioned in the same movie, somehow Darth Sidious comes back to life. After everything that this son of a gun has been through, this man is just unkillable at this point. How has he not died after being tossed in this pit of hell, essentially, and blows up in the freaking reactor pit of whatever? I don't even know. I don't even care. Whatever. I think in the ninth movie, they just needed to bring a villain back, and they just decided, hey, Darth Sidious is pretty pure evil. He's powerful enough to maybe possibly pull this off. Let's just do that. So that's exactly what happens. But we're not talking about the ninth movie. We're talking about the sixth one. So, you know what? We're going to talk about the Ewoks. I almost wasn't going to talk about the stuffed animal, like little Chewbacca size, Ewok things. But they're the cute little teddy bears, and they kind of kick the stormtroopers' asses on the forest moon of Endor. But, like, I don't know. Like, I kind of thought it was kind of silly. But at the end of the day, it was acceptable at the same time because it is a Star Wars movie. But I don't know. I always kind of felt the Ewoks were a little silly, but they are indeed, in fact, really cute to look at. Whatever. But this is also, I want to say, the movie where Han and Leia also kind of ignite that flame, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Of like where they actually really kind of start to like each other. And this is also the movie, and I think this was a spoiler in the last video I made on the Star Wars, which was The Empire Strikes Back. This is also the movie where Luke and Leia discover that they were brother and sister, which kind of makes that kiss of theirs in the last movie like icky, like, oh god, almost incest-wise. But it is what it is. Like I said, they kind of, if you don't know, you don't know. But at the same time, it's like I'd be a little weird about it if it was me. I'd be like, oh god, what did I do? Gross. Anyway, I don't think this movie is better than The Empire Strikes Back, but this movie definitely is the comeback kill of The Empire Strikes Back. In The Empire Strikes Back, as I mentioned, even in the title of that movie, the Empire wins in that movie. This movie is kind of the comeback from the rebellion to essentially shut down the Empire. which somehow I don't think the Empire is really meant to die because, again, I'm not trying to veer off track, but in the seventh movie, it's almost like everything the rebellion didn't even matter because there they are again years later as the Empire, and they're twice as powerful. Now we have Kylo Ren, and I don't want to veer off into that realm or in that kind of that era yet. We'll get into that. That's more of like 2000, like early, like kind of like late 2000s era, like 2010, 12 era, whatever. But we'll get into that later. But all in all, I really like this one. This movie's really good. It's, again, not my favorite in the franchise, but I do like this movie. I like that it ties it all together. I like that it gives a good demonstration that good does overpower evil, even though the most evil cinematic character ever written is doing everything he can to make Luke join the dark side, and Luke just refuses, which I think is cool because his father gave in so easy. And it kind of, I think honestly, it's because of Luke's strength in resisting the dark side that Darth Vader was influenced to become good again. Which, in the end of that movie, Darth Vader does die. Like, he becomes like one of the ghosts that I know I've mentioned. Qui-Gon becomes a ghost. Obi-Wan becomes a ghost. But man, back in the 80s, I don't think they even really knew exactly what Darth Vader did to become evil. But Darth Vader did slaughter a bunch of kids and literally destroy the Jedi. And just like that, he gets like this redeeming, like ghost-like thing, and it's like, man, not for nothing, but like, you're evil, dude. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't think that what he did in the past really justifies who he became at the end of this movie. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about that. I respectfully disagree. Like I said, he slaughtered a bunch of kids, man. Darth Vader, like, I'm sorry, man. There's no redeeming that. I don't see redemption for you, but of course, in the end of this movie, he becomes good again, and it's like everything he did in the past is just like, I guess, put behind you now. I guess we're good now. Forget all the people and everything you did to destroy the Jedi, but now you're good again. That's my rant on Darth Vader. Like I said, I wish Darth Vader just kind of stayed bad. I do like the story arc. I love that he was the dad of the good guy in the last three of the franchise, which is kind of cool. But all in all, like, his redemption was kind of just, I don't want to say unnecessary, but not worthy enough for that redemption. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about that. Like I said, I have a hard time accepting that Darth Vader just became good again and everything he did in the past to become bad is just written off. Whatever. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I don't like this movie is definitely just like the finisher of the last 6 movies. Very good. I really liked it a lot. Again, if you are not familiar with the Star Wars franchise, what are you waiting for? I would say this one's definitely up there with Lord of the Rings. I like Star Wars way more than I like Star Trek. And that is for some reason like a teeter-totter, endless debate. I don't know a lot of people that accept both of them. I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan, but I love Star Wars. And some people are like, oh, they're literally like the same thing, just in different universes. I respectfully disagree. I like the Force. I like the idea of Star Wars being like, a bunch of like Jedi Knights. They're just good to be good. They're like the monks of the Star Wars world, and they do just kind of promote the good. But then you got the Sith, who are just like the prime definition of pure evil. I like Star Wars. I think it's great. It's a good description of good and evil put into a movie franchise. But yeah, like I said, the Star Wars franchise, 10 out of 10. I lied. It's a 20 out of 10. I'm even going to include like the last like 7, 8, and 9. A lot of people give them heat, but at the end of the day, I still enjoyed those movies. I will be doing videos on those. I actually do need to rewatch those because I know I've seen them and I remember liking them, but I don't have enough information on them to, I think, make a consistently good extra 3 videos on them. So I'm going to be rewatching them on Disney and everything like that just to get my refresher of what I want to do with those movies. But yeah, just stay tuned for those. There's definitely more Star Wars. I'm definitely not done here. For the longest time, this movie was the end of Star Wars. Like, and then, I remember hearing the announcement of a Star Wars Episode 7. I remember then hearing about them making the Han Solo movie. Endor, even I really kind of enjoyed The Mandalorian. I don't think I finished. I think they have 3 seasons. I don't think I watched all of season 3 yet, but I do want to do it. Like, there is definitely a lot more Star Wars coming to you guys, so stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to do that. I'm excited for you guys to react and watch them, and I want to know your opinion on all these movies. I love opinions. I love seeing points of view. So the more points of view I get on the movies and everything like that, I love reading it. I love enjoying it. Please comment and let me know what you guys thought of these movies as well. Like I said, guys, Star Wars is one of the greatest franchises of all time. It's definitely some of my childhood. It's most of my childhood. I remember having the little action figures, everything like that. I had a great childhood. So my childhood was fun as hell. So whatever. But yeah, like I said, like and subscribe to my channel, guys. Stay tuned for more Star Wars stuff. This Friday, I'm hoping to have a special guest on this show. He and we went and saw the new Superman movie. He was definitely more against like the movie. I kind of liked it more than he did. There were some things about the Superman movie that I didn't like, and I want to talk more about that. That's all I'm going to say in this video about it. Stay tuned Friday for my depiction or my thoughts and his thoughts if he even shows up, which I hope he does. But either way, regardless, I will be making a video on the newest Superman movie that just came out. I really liked it. We're going to get to that later, though. But like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos, guys. And always remember to have a fantastic day.